requisitions are okay.
And yes,
And I do have 2 items for consideration not on the consent agenda. I have a resolution approving the reappointment of representatives to serve on the Area 12 Workforce Investment Board.
Okay, I put it in the summary, there's three ladies that are up there, they represent, the folks from Warren County, and they're, 2 of them are from businesses, Carolyn is from Festo, the one lady's name escapes me, represents Kings Island, and then Karen Carnes is a lady that works out at the Career Center, so these are ladies that serve on the board currently, and they're just being reappointed for the next cycle, so, just wanted to make sure that we put that in front of you.
Okay, so this is a motion to appoint these people?
Reappoint these.
Reappoint, they're currently on the board?
Correct.
Okay, I make a motion to reappoint them.
and yes.
And I have a second resolution establishing non-participant charges for the Riviera Drive water line.
I mean, Chris could talk about, but this is sort of what we did a few weeks back on the ones that were kind of around 22 and 3, but these are some upgrades that were made to water lines around the water softening plant, kind of in the northwest part of the county, kind of down along Riviera, but down in the Middletown, Franklin Township area. So this would, again, would be for those that would join after this, would have a $1,500 non-participant charge on top of the normal tap fees. So they're just wanting to get this on the books, so.
Because
that-
they didn't participate initially
Correct.
in the lines there. They
Correct.
chose not to participate, now they are.
Well, I think it's more for, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, it's more for if there's any future taps that come in that recoup some of the costs that we invested in.
We laid a water line down Riviera Drive, and that's actually in Butler County. So years ago, I mean, I don't know how much of the backstory you want, but years ago, we had a raw water line that came out and, well, actually it was treated water, 30-inch line that went down Riviera Drive, and customers, residents along Riviera Drive wanted water, and so we allowed them to tap in. They were in Butler County, they tapped in. And then when we moved the treatment plant to our current site on Shelley Street, that went from being a treated water line to a raw water line. And so to still give them service, we had to run a water line down Riviera Drive for, because we had used their water line for a raw water line for our well water. So what we're doing is we're asking, future customers who would want to tap in to help reimburse us for the cost of that water line. That's really all it is.
So this would be for somebody who taps in the future?
In the future, yes.
So they would know about this fee if they decided to tap in?
Yes, so we had a request, just recently from somebody who wants to tap in on Riviera Drive. And I was like, oh, we never put a non-participant charge on here. Let me put that non-participant charge on so we recover some of our cost.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Very good. Since you're at the podium, we only have one agenda item this morning.
Very good.
Mr.
This is a unique request. I received a phone call from a builder, a couple weeks ago, probably about 3 weeks ago, and it was the builder's, the Gary Sinise Foundation. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that foundation, but they do great work for our veterans and wounded warriors. So what they do is they build houses. I think they're at no cost to the owner, the ultimate owner, who's a veteran, and it's a great service for them. This would be the second house that they're building here in Warren County. The first one they built out by the golf course, I think it was on
Airport.
Remember, Bruce, what was it?
New England Way.
New England Way. And it's their custom-built homes, uniquely designed to the needs of the veteran. And I think they're mortgage-free homes. They're designed specifically, handicap accessible, whatever the need of that veteran is, it's designed custom to their situation. So I got this call a couple weeks ago, talked to them, and suggest that maybe they request waiving the tap and water connection, sewer connection fees and the water tapping fees. The fees that we quoted them are somewhere around $15,000 to $16,000 for
So this is
connection.
just the tap-in fee,
This is the tap-in.
Because when I
the
read
water
your-
tap-in and sewer connection fees.
because I read the resolution and it sounded like it was any fees and charges associated with water and sewer
Yes.
service.
So it's the total fees, so it's the water tap-in fee, sewer connection fee, inspection fees, non-participant fees, all the fees.
But it
that-
doesn't include future usage.
No, it's not the monthly user
And that's
fees.
clear from this language,
Yes.
Bruce, that that would include
I haven't
future?
seen the resolution.
Okay. It says that all Warren County Water and Sewer Department fees and charges associated with water and sewer service for the Gary Sinise Foundation project, I mean,
It's not the user fees, it's not the monthly user fees.
Okay, so that's
It
clear?
specifically states out, it's waiving the sewer tap fees, sewer connection fees, and other fees associated with water and sewer service to the property. So it's associated with service to the property.
I can take a look at it, if you wanna move forward and do something by title only, and we can tweak it to make sure it's clear on that.
yeah, that's what I would do.
But
I'm in
I
favor of it.
do have concerns about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that you consider a resolution to adopt a policy that sets parameters that they may fit that are unique, not just to this organization, because someone else comes along and says, well, how can you waive the fee for this organization and not for my organization? So you're gonna get requests from church and other 501c3s. If you adopt a policy that they may fit the parameters of, then that's the best practice that you could pursue, not to say it would withstand scrutiny. But one example would be, you will remember, we did something similar to this for a Superfund site where Peter Cartridge came in and wanted some fees waived, is my recollection. And we came up with a policy, adopted a resolution, and it was very unique for any property that had a Superfund site cleanup, US EPA type thing. Am I?
Are you, recollection correct?
Yeah.
I don't, I think we did something with the fees. I'm not quite sure we
100% that's what
waived.
we did, because I was concerned about the precedent that set, but then we designed something that said, well, if there happens to be another Superfund site that's under EPA guidance, then you get this waived in the effort to revitalize that site. 100% we did
Yeah,
that.
so a same or similar treatment. It's not just for this particular applicant, it's for anyone that meets the parameters of whatever the policy provides for. And in that policy, it was if you are a Superfund site that's done X, Y, and Z, maybe we can do this for this. If it's going to hold up the construction, then what I would suggest is this builder knew what our fees were coming into it, anticipated paying those fees, have them pay the fees so their project is not held up. And then if you adopt the policy, then you can refund those fees at a future date to them, only if it's going to hold up their project.
Well, we have the contractor here, Greg Martin, with Martin Excavating. Greg would be doing the work for the tying into the laterals. And I don't get the sense that they're ready to do that work yet. Am I correct, Greg? Come on, yeah, if you don't mind stating your name and address.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Greg Martin. My wife Becky and I own Martin Excavating in Middletown, 1501 South University Boulevard, 45044. So the Gary Sinise Foundation, we were fortunate enough to donate our services to the previous home they built on New England Way for the Kramer family last year. And when I found out that Pete Franzen, the director of the RISE program with the Sinise Foundation, told me they were going to build another house in Warren County for another disabled veteran. And so I offered to meet with them and look at the property before they bought it, and they did not have sewer and water taps on the property, which is a substantial expense beyond the tap fees to connect those. They have to go out in the road, tie into the sewer, and then bore under the road to tie into the water on the other side. So I offered at that time, if they decided to move forward with the project, that we would donate our services again to bring those taps into the property for this project. So really, I'm here today to just speak in favor of the resolution. It was incredibly gratifying for us to get to work with the Sinise Foundation. They're high-quality people, and the project that they're doing to provide homes for our veterans who have, and their families that have given so much to our freedom, I think is very important. So from a timing standpoint, I'm not the builder. I'm just going to be working on the sewer and water taps. I don't know their schedule. I know they're close to being ready to start. But I would like to see you approve this resolution. I think it's a very worthwhile cause. So any questions I can answer, I'll be happy to answer.
Thanks very much. I'm sure it's worthwhile. The issue is not providing favorable treatment to one person that's charitable or some organization. As our law director said, we're gonna get all sorts of charities that are worthwhile. They're gonna all of a sudden ask for us to waive tap-in fees. And so he's gonna look at, or I would ask him to look at, which he's already said he would do, to see if we can come up with a general policy to not just fit like, oh, everybody with the name Gary with the last name of S, we're gonna give them. So we have to have something that is generally applicable and a policy that is equally available so that we meet equal protection types of questions, and that we don't provide favorable treatment to one, obviously, worthy cause.
Sure, and I understand you're setting a precedent. I understand that there'll be a line of people maybe walk in here after this wanting the same thing. And you do need to create a resolution or a way to treat everybody fairly. So, but I do appreciate your time and consideration on this matter.
Yep, and if somebody needs something more quickly, they can come back to us and tell us that. But my guess is that they don't, and you're not gonna be immediately
Right.
needed, so.
Yeah, like I say, I don't know that it's extremely urgent, but it
Okay.
is important, at least from my perspective. So, thank you.
You don't have the work schedule.
No, I do not. I have not scheduled to work yet. It's just pending whatever their schedule is.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
again, thank you for your time.
No, thank you for what you're doing, that's awesome.
Very happy to do it. Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts are, obviously, there's literally no question that it's worthy, and anything we can do for a disabled veteran, of course we should do it. But then, I agree that then, it's going to be a question of every other Habitat for Humanity, or as you said, a church organization, does every 501c3 then get a waiver of tax charges? Well, you like veterans, but you don't like the person that we think should get this home. And then it's also, one of the immediate things that came to my mind, man, if you're a combat veteran, you should get free taps from me. We the public owe you. And then it's like, well, if we do that, then all of a sudden there's 1,000, 2,000, veterans in the county that did pay the fee. Now do they come back and we've got to refund all of those? I mean, that's where it's this series of unexpected consequences of benefiting one individual, no matter how worthy they are. How do we do that when someone else is literally in the same boat, but they weren't fortunate enough to qualify and get this one free house? And now there's literally could be 1,000 other combat veterans, hundreds of those maybe even disabled, that live in the county, and they did pay it. That's and again, I'm not questioning, of course we should take care of them. Again, the thing that's coming through my mind is, man, maybe do we have a policy for all of it? But then it's, wait, anyone that did public service then doesn't pay. It's this slippery slope of
Put a structure to it. You gotta have some kind of structure to it if you're gonna adopt it, right? Yes. I
Okay,
mean,
well, good.
you gotta have some kind of guide rails, you know, if you're gonna move forward with that policy, I think it's.
We need to get some information from the Gary Sinise Foundation to corroborate some of the things Chris has said today, and maybe those are the standards we put in a policy if you decide to do one. You know, if are they truly transferring these properties to Wounded Warriors mortgage-free? What happens if that person passes? Does his family, you know, get
Is it
this
a
property?
503c foundation? Is it registered as a foundation? Which
Yeah.
this is, I checked on that. So I mean, that can be a condition in your policy, that it's a certified, you know, non-profit charity, you know, organization.
Yeah, we just need some direction, and you raised some really good points. And maybe when you think about this, when you say Habitat for Humanities, maybe that's an organization, if they're fitting this criteria as well, they're going to also qualify. So it's not just the Gary Sinise Foundation for Wounded Warriors, it may be something other than that. And you guys need to think about that and give us some direction, and we can, in the meantime, investigate, you know, what all of the process involves for a Wounded Warrior to get these benefits, and bring that back to you, and then let you decide whether you want to do this policy or not.
Okay.
Bruce, do you think that'd be appropriate? I mean, do you think enough time to bring it back for the first August work session meeting?
I assume so, yeah.
Okay. Because I know we just have, our calendar, we're off on the last Tuesday, I think it is, of the month, or if I'm not mistaken, or is it the 23rd? Oh, second to last, okay. I just wanted to make sure, but I didn't know if that was enough time or too much time.
Yeah, but again, thank you for what you're doing. I mean, donating your time and expense to something that's so incredibly worthy. I mean, God bless you for doing it, so.
We also have John Hill with John Hill Homes. He's their company is the builder for the home, so they just joined in the meeting also. So I don't know.
Sure, if you'd like to, I mean, you came up and you want to address the board, feel free. Yes.
Thank you. Apologize for getting the time off a little bit. I hope we didn't keep holding anybody up. So I'm John Hill, this is my son Ben Hill.
Good
We're
morning.
John Hill Construction down in Loveland. We're honored to be the builder of this house down in Mainville. And really, the idea came up to request this, and just so you guys understand, this will not help just this individual. All this would go back into the kitty for the next project. They've done 800 homes around the country.
It's
600?
they're about at 100.
100,
I think
sorry.
this will be like their
80 or 90.
92nd, something like that, home completed. But yeah, anything that's donated to the Gary Sinise Foundation is going to help out other veterans around.
And how does this work? Have you been involved with another project with them or not?
No, they had built another one in Morgan County though, recently just finished.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where in Warren County was that?
Up by the airport, the Warren County
That's
Airport.
correct,
Way.
that's correct. New England Way next to the airport.
Yeah.
And
So-
we weren't approached on that project. or-
No,
We're just kind of.
this is a harebrained idea of mine.
Oh,
If you guys can help out,
So, but you weren't involved in that other project?
We were not.
Okay.
We were not.
If I could just add, the other home had a septic system and was not connected to the sewer.
Oh, okay, so that didn't
All
have a
that
tap in
water.
fee, but it did have water though.
It did have water.
County water,
Right,
yeah.
county.
What's up?
Okay,
So
well, that's great.
this doesn't benefit me or the Ulmer family. This would, because this is a cost plus project.
Are you the general contractor then?
Correct.
Okay, so you would be, have you already got a contract to build this home?
We're ready to pull the permit, and really, instead of writing the $15,000 check for sewer and water tap fees, is when
Well, do you need that right away or not?
yeah, I need that to get a building permit.
Well, no, tell me what your timetable is.
We're ready to start immediately.
So you would need, if you were to start immediately, when do you need the tap in fee or you pay?
If I came with a check today, if this is a bad idea,
Oh, okay, well, you see, what was suggested is that you could pay and we could reimburse you or something.
okay, I think that's what's best for the Ulmer family, who's
Yeah,
gonna move into this house, and we can get started, and we're all lined up with excavators and people to get going. The degree of donation to this foundation is just stunning. It's from way high level corporate like Weyerhaeuser and Certainty shingles, and you know it's fascinating.
So one way or the other, this project is going forward.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, we want, you know, we've already spoken that
Yeah.
it's great that you're doing it, it's great that it's happening, it's a wonderful, you know, charitable type of organization, providing a great service, but we need to have a standard and policy, and so, Bruce, if we can work as expeditiously as possible, I guess, that's all we'd ask.
One of the questions asked was, the deed really truly goes to the Ulmer, in this case, the Ulmer family, and if the veteran passes away, it is theirs free and clear, honestly. And then that is the track record, just that was one of the questions. And it's for real. And there's no mortgage, and it'll be put in their name when they move in, just FYI. So,
Thank you so much.
thanks for considering it.
You bet.
I appreciate it. Thank
It's a good idea. No matter what the answer is, it's a good idea.
Thanks.
I appreciate you asking.
Thanks for your time.
Is there anything else?
You got anything else, Chris?
No, we got several projects ongoing, and they're all making good progress. We have the PFAS project, the upgrades to the Reniker treatment plant. Those are currently under design right now and should be ready to be submitted to Ohio EPA this month. We submitted for funding for that, and it's roughly $9 million worth of construction upgrades to the treatment plant. We're trying to work with EPA on that. They provided money for the design of the improvements, but we're still waiting for them to hear about for the construction. If we are awarded money for the construction, that $9 million construction, they will cap it at $4 million. So we're still short around $5 million for the construction of these improvements. Keep in mind, we're trying to get these improvements done as quickly as possible, expeditiously, to be done by the end of next year. So that's our goal, is to be complete with these improvements for that treatment process by
And
the
that's
end
all
of next year.
directly correlated to PFAS?
PFAS, it's all directly correlated to
So it's
PFAS.
9 million, even though, and that's a federal EPA mandate that you do this,
Right.
and it has been multi-billion dollar settlement that supposedly covers this, but you're saying it's covering less than half?
Well, so, yes, the settlement's different. There's settlement from DuPont and 3M that we're participating in, and we'll get some money from that. It's not quite sure how much money that is yet, but there's money from the federal government also. So when they put out that mandate that you have to treat this, they said that basically anybody who has this in their source water that they have to remove, will provide some funding. And that funding is limited to $4 million. And again, they said, yes, we'll give you money for the design, but they haven't ranked us yet for the construction, and we're trying to.
Which was my point early on. There's so many communities that aren't in a position to cover a $5 million deficit like we are.
Well, we're not even in that position. We're not even in that position to handle that $5 million difference yet. We're still, we're trying to work this into our
Well,
financials.
I get it, but I'm saying that it's going to be covered one way or the other, because you have smaller communities or less financially stable water departments that still have to do this, and there's no way that they're gonna be able to do it without someone else covering the tab.
Ours is inexpensive. I mean, that $9 million is a deal. It's a hell of a deal. Anybody else who has to deal with this, because it's inexpensive for us because we put in the softening facility, and that softening facility does 3/4 of the work. Those nanofilters that we put in are doing an awesome job, and that alone at Reniker was $14 million, $15 million. So that project was working great. It's just the bypass around that for, that we do have some flow that we still have to treat beyond that nanofilters. So that's the $9 million. So the total ticket was like $25 million when you look at the whole ticket. We already paid for a lot of it. So anybody who else is starting from scratch, it's gonna be super expensive for
Much
them.
bigger number. And then, how are you doing on that, the water line that kept bursting on that one road where those nice people came in and were like, you're flooding me out?
Right. So that is, that starts construction this month. Yesterday?
We closed the road yesterday.
So, yes, so it's under construction now. And it'll take somewhere around, Catherine, you think it'll take them a month to get that done, 30 days?
The full project is through September 2nd to get all the connections, everybody moved over to the new water line. But the majority of the construction should be done by the end of the month.
Good. Thank you.
So, no problem.
Thank you all for coming today. Anything else, Martin?
I do not have anything else.
Susan?
No, I don't have anything else.
Very good. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.